Hi everyone, I'm back. We're back. I mean, she was always here, she never left. But I'm back from Europe and I thought I would show you some of the bits and bobs that I got from Europe. Why don't you want to be on film? Why don't you love me? So I'm not sure what happened, but like 2 minutes ago the sunlight in here was amazing. All of a sudden it's gone really dark. In addition to that, for some reason my house alarm is beeping like every minute, and as soon as it beeps she decides that she wants to meow at it. So just bear with me, we'll try and do this thing. Do you reckon I can do the whole video with her in my arms? She does not want to move. She's purring like anything. Are you looking at the camera? Are you gonna move? She's been needy like this ever since I came back. I'm not sure if I mentioned this because I'm really distracted at the moment, but this is a high-end kind of haul, and okay, this is a high-end haul, but there's a couple of drugstore things in at the end, just because I wanted to show you this stuff. But I'm going to try and get through this stuff really quickly because the light is fading even faster, and in about 5 minutes it's going to be dark. I visited a whole bunch of places overseas. Now, coincidentally, I don't know what happened there, but there seemed to be a Sephora almost directly across the road wherever I was staying, apart from London, of course, because there's no Sephora there. But I did the most of my shopping in London and Paris. I didn't really do much in Rome or Barcelona or Nice. But here are some of the things that I picked up. So when I found out that I was going to be staying in Paris for quite a long time, I decided that I really wanted to purchase myself a really nice bottle of French perfume. And one of the brands that I have been coveting for a while is Guerlain, and this is not the one I actually intended to buy, but this is the Pera Granita, and it is so fresh and fruity, and it's going to be perfect for summer when it finally arrives. I had intended to buy something else, but when I saw this, I saw the bottle, I saw the gold, it's so pretty, and I smelt it, of course. I just knew this one had to be mine. So this is my first Guerlain perfume. I hope it's not my last. Also from Guerlain, now this is a super luxe product for me. I would never spend this amount of money usually, but I have been looking at this for over a year. I've been just visiting it every time I'm in David Jones and like playing with it and touching it and saying, one day you're going to be mine. So I did pick it up while in Paris. So this is the L'Or Primer from Guerlain. So this is actually a clear, hydrating, firming base with then it has actual gold flecks in it. So gold has been part of you know, one of those skincare ingredients that's been known to firm the skin. So I've only used a tiny bit of it. I'm going to be using it very sparingly, but I have been enjoying it. Now, if you saw my follow me around Sephora video, as a side note, that was really tricky to film. There were security guards following me around all the time. Not following me around, but you're not supposed to film, and I did it, you know, all about that thug life. But I just wanted to show you sort of the difference. So one of the things that I did notice, and I made a note of in the blog post, is that there are sales, and there are sales of high-end brands. There was heaps of Clinique on sale. There was Lancome, there was Giorgio Armani, there was Marc Jacobs, there was La Dorie. It was really astonishing, actually. Now, as someone who doesn't need any more makeup, I was very well behaved. I really restricted myself on what I did purchase. What I did purchase, however, from the sale bin is this eyeshadow base from Lancome. I really wanted to test out how this performs against my favorite, which is MAC Painterly. So this is La Base Paupière Pro. So it's a waterproof eyeshadow base, a cream eyeshadow base. It's in the shade 3 Nude, and this was actually half price. So it's a little bit more orange than Painterly, and it has a completely different texture. It's a lot smoother, not quite as dry, and I'm really enjoying it. Also from Sephora, I picked up my first Lancome shade, and I'm absolutely in love with it. It's just a perfect red. It's in the shade 132. I'm obsessed. I've been wearing it I've worn it quite a few times. I'm not the best, I'm not the biggest fan of the texture. It's a little bit, it's not long wearing enough to what I prefer, but in terms of the shade, it is amazing. I love it. So this is what the shade looks like. Hopefully you're seeing how pretty it is. It's in the Absolute Rouge formula, and I am enjoying it. Again from Sephora, another lipstick. This is one of the Vice lipsticks, and they were everywhere. House of Fraser in London had a beautiful display. Sephora had all of the shades there available. It's so hard to pick one shade, but I did pick up the shade Ravenswood. I'm wearing it today. So it's a really nice kind of rosy pink. However, it's a little bit more dusty than what I'm usually wearing. So there's that swatched up for you. It is in the cream formula. So there are matte formulas, there are sheers, There are metallics. That's the cream formula. So from House of Fraser in London, which is a beautiful department store, I saw this stand and I knew I had to get something. I've been after these for a couple of years, but I just couldn't get my hands on them, or stuff from this brand in particular. And so the brand is Laura Geller, and I've picked up one of their Baked Gelato Swirl highlighters. I picked it up in the shade Gilded Honey, which I was a little bit worried that it was going to be a little bit too gold for my skin tone, but it's actually really, really beautiful. Look how pretty that is in the pan. So these have like almost like a gel feeling to them, but they are a powder product. Can you see that? It's not too warm shaded, that it's going to look really brassy on my skin. So it's going to be great for most skin tones. Like I said, the texture is really lovely. It lets off a lovely sheen, and I've been using this both on my eyes and also on my cheeks. Really excited about this. Now onto some skincare items that I picked up. The first thing and the most exciting thing is the Glam Glow Gravity Mud treatment. So I've used this a couple of times now. It's really, really interesting. So this is the really shiny, glitzy one that you may have seen other YouTubers use. So this in the pot, it actually just looks like an iridescent white. And then when you put it on, it will dry and it becomes a peel-off mask. And it goes silver, so you look like the Tin Man. But this is great. I really like this. I'm not a massive fan of all of the Glam Glow, but I think this has to be my favourite so far. If you haven't heard by now, my skin was crazy while I was away. Those 22-hour flights killed me. So I did pick up a couple of other bits and pieces from Sephora. The first thing I picked up was this Peter Thomas Roth sampler pack. So you've got the rose stem cell treatment, you've got the cucumber mask, and then there's the pumpkin enzyme mask there too. I've only used these two and I found they're fantastic. You leave them on for about 10 minutes. I always leave them on for a little bit later, or a little bit longer, sorry. And your skin looks and feels really refreshed afterwards. Again, I haven't used this one. I also picked up a whole bunch of these sleeping masks. This is the last one. This is the only one I didn't manage to use in my time. The avocado one was beautiful. There was a cucumber one that I used. I really needed masks, particularly in the first week after flying in. My skin was so dry. It was really horrible. So I use these almost every single day. Now onto a couple of items that I picked up from the brand NYX. In London, in one of the big Boots stores, there was an entire NYX store within the store. So I saw a few products that I hadn't seen in Australia before. I'm looking forward to heading into a large Priceline store so that I can see if these products exist there. My local Priceline, which I checked out on the weekend, didn't have any NYX. It's a Priceline pharmacy, so there was nothing there. But I'm going to go to another larger store and just check out what sort of range is available, because it's pretty exciting. So the first thing I picked up was the Strobe of Genius palette. I've already filmed a first impressions of this, which will be coming up on my channel shortly. To summarize that video, there are some things that I really like about this palette and there are some things that I don't. You'll have to stay tuned for that one. But I picked this up. I've been enjoying using some of these shades, but yeah, stay tuned for that. I have been really into pigments. It's something I'm kind of late to the party with pigments, and so for me the natural progression from pigments is then onto glitters, and so I picked up a couple of NYX glitters. So there's one there which is a hollow silver, and then there's one there that's a hollow purple, so I'm looking forward to using those. And then along with that I picked up the glitter primer from NYX, and I've tried this out already, not the glitters but just the primer to see what it feels like, and it's really, really tacky. I almost forgot before you go. I picked up the Makeup Forever Mist and Fix. So one of my big regrets from being in Paris for so long is I didn't actually get to go to the Makeup Forever Academy / flagship store, because they are based in Paris. When I was in Nice, I actually was staying quite close to the Nice part of the academy, so I walked past that every day and sort of had a quick look, but there was not much going on because it seemed to be like a summer break. But yeah, so I picked this up. I'm not sure whether or not it's going to replace my favourite, which is MAC Fix Plus, but I have been enjoying it. Check that out. This has been great to set my makeup. So the Guerlain stuff was sort of my big splurge for the trip. I also picked up one other thing which I really, really love. It's not a makeup item, but I thought I'd share it with you anyway. So I've been obsessed with Cameo engravings for the longest time, and the majority of cameos are always a brooch or a pendant, so brooch or a pendant. And last time I was in Italy, which sounds very, very posh, but when I was in Venice I picked up a Cameo ring, which I love. And this time when I was wandering through the streets of Rome, I found a little jewelry store, and I actually found, and I'll show you this up close, a kitten Cameo ring. So it was very, very expensive. I managed to talk him down about 30 euros in my broken Italian language, but I did pick it up for a little bit cheaper than he had at price, which is fantastic. That's a tip for you if you do travel to Europe. Bartering is not always shameful. You can get yourself a good deal, but I'm just obsessed. It's so cute. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to get a good view of this, but it's a cute little kitten cameo. It's a little tacky, but that's what I'm like. And its little paws are up, and I just think it's adorable. So I'm slightly obsessed with this. So those 3 items, I think the Galan perfume, primer, and the ring, I think, are my favourite things that I've picked up. But I'm so glad to be home. I'm so glad to be filming again. There are a few things coming up from me if you haven't already seen them. There is a French pharmacy guide, so your French skincare guide. So I spent a lot of time in City Pharma over in Paris, picking out what I think are the most popular things. There's also, if you haven't seen it yet, there is a Euro, like best of drugstore buys from Europe. So there's a whole bunch of brands that you may not have heard before and some that you may. And then there's this one here, so having a look at my high-end haul. There's a whole bunch of really fun stuff coming up soon. Some of it will just be blog posts, some of it will just be videos, but hopefully we have some fun together. I would love for you to subscribe so you get some updates from me every now and then, and make sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat, and I'll have those links below, and have a great day. Thank you so much for watching.